Everyone, today I'm going to be going over some tips to take the AMC8 or any math competition, but before we begin, quick introduction if you're new here. Hi, my name is Anaya, and my content includes reading small books to children, but recently I have began to start reading larger books in different sittings. I've also started to implement math, and I'm trying to focus more on math, but don't worry, reading's not going anywhere. And recently, I've also been including more complex math content, especially from competitions like the AMC8, etc. But today, as someone who's lived through the AMC8 multiple times, I'm going to be sharing some of my top tips for the AMC8. Number one is to go slow. I know it's super intimidating when you've got the clock ticking down and all these difficult problems and I'm surrounded by so many smart kids, but don't worry, go slow, you got this, believe in yourself. Number two is to check your work. I cannot stress this enough, but especially in some of the easier problems, I myself have made so many little silly mistakes, and I could have improved my score so much if I just checked my work. Especially if you have some time left over, and what some kids like to do is the last 5 problems are always the hardest. So sometimes they don't even attempt it unless they're sure that they know how to do it. They don't even attempt it, and they just spend any remaining time going over the problems that they've already completed to make sure that there are no silly mistakes. Number two is to go backwards. Sometimes if I'm unsure about a problem, I'll pick any of the answer choices that seems the most reasonable and work backwards from there and see if it checks out. Number 4 is to keep an eye on the clock. I know one of my earlier tips was to just breathe and go slow, but the clock is pretty important, and I've taken some AMC8 practice tests without a clock, and I realized that the problems itself are not hard, just when you've got a clock ticking down. And I know 40 minutes might seem like a lot, but trust me, it's not. And it's actually very easy to get a really high score on the AMC8, just the clock really sets you back. So definitely keep an eye on the clock, because you don't want to spend too long on one problem and then end up missing the rest of the problems and get a low score. And number 5, I think, is to check all the boxes. There's no penalty for wrong answers, and there's no penalty for incomplete answers, but so fill in all the answer choices. Like, even if you haven't even read the question, but there's 10 seconds left on the clock, fill in any of the answer bubbles, and just so that maybe you could get it right. I mean, there's a 1 in 5 chance that you could get the answer right, so might as well seize that. And there's no penalty. These are my tips for the AMC8. Hope they help if you're taking them in 2026 or any future years. Bye. Thank you. Oh, and I will be going over the 2026 AMC8 once you are allowed to. I have already taken the 2026 AMC8, but since I'm legally not allowed to talk about it, I will be posting a video talking about some of the problems something that I thought went well, some problems that I didn't really understand. But I'll be doing those after January 28th, because that's when I'm legally allowed to go over the problems. But until then, bye.